on. If you think about him, he's a clown. Like, I love the hip-hop culture. I'm in love with the hip-hop culture. Blood, sweat, and tears went in my movement for the hip-hop culture.
Popped off in me first saying my podcasting and business was 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
I told him I'm gonna do what I want to do. I don't give a who we ratted on.
Right.
That ain't my business. The people we ratted on, handle your business. My homies ain't with him. I'm not telling him what y'all can and can't do, right? He's under my protection. Now, if you pull up on him and I'm there, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to make sure I get home.
J. Prince just dropped a bombshell. He's saying Wack 100 ain't just a snitch. He's the reason some rappers are walking free while others get slammed with serious time.
I think dude respectfully is taken away from his aura of who he is, who people respect him to be.
If Wack's out here cleaning up messes, then who's really calling the shots behind the scenes? Now ask yourself, is Wack protecting these artists, or is he covering up something way deeper? Word in the streets been buzzing. Folks already whispering that Wack 100 got Fed ties going way back. Sources even claim he gets tipped off before the drama blows up online. How does he always know what's coming? Sounds like he's plugged in with more than just industry heads. But J. Prince didn't stop there. He straight up said Wack ain't just snitching. He's the reason certain rappers are untouchable. That's next level influence. Think about it. The first names folks throw out: The Game, 6ix9ine, and Blueface. All three are locked in with Wack. All three keep slipping past legal trouble and street drama. Like it's nothing. What's really going on behind that curtain?
Original filing was like for like $1 million, $2 million.
Yeah.
Right? But for whatever reason, because the judge was feeling the way he was feeling, he bumped that shit up to like 5 million, 7 million, some crazy shit.
Let's look at The Game. This man's faced lawsuits, beefs, and scandals that should have ended his whole run. One case alone had him owing $7 million. That would crush most artists, but somehow he didn't even flinch. Why? One word: Wack. And Wack didn't just back him, he took control. Game's masters? Wack got him. His royalties? Wack's name all over that too. It's like he ain't just managing him, he's owning the brand. You want to sue Game? Gotta deal with Wack first. Want a piece of Game's music? Wack already holding that down. When people said that $7 million judgment was unfair, Wack didn't blink. He made noise like he was guarding his investment, not just standing up for an artist. That's not loyalty, that's power. So the real question is, was that loyalty or leverage? Because at this point, it's looking like Wack ain't just managing rappers. He got the keys to their whole survival. He's not just handling careers, he's holding lifelines. Take 6ix9ine, the rainbow-haired snitch poster boy.
He popped off in me first saying my podcasting and business was 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
I told him I'm gonna do what I want to do. I don't give a fuck who we ratted on.
Right.
That ain't my business. The people we ratted on, handle your business. I'm not telling him what y'all can and can't do, right? He's under my protection. Now, if you pull up on him and I'm there, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to make sure I get home safe.
After he sang like a canary in court, the whole industry turned its back on him. Labels ditched him. OGs wouldn't even look his way, and his name was straight up toxic. His career was in the dirt, until Wack came in like he was shopping clearance racks. Man rebuilt 6ix9ine's contracts, gave him a fresh voice on Clubhouse, and even slid him gas money when he was broke. That ain't business, that's a straight up resurrection. Wack didn't just give him a second chance, he rebranded a rap outcast like the streets didn't just cancel him. No major cosigns, no street respect. Just Wack pushing him back into the spotlight using media tricks and what feels like some heavy protection. And through all that, 6ix9ine still been moving around untouched in cities that would have eaten him alive.
When you found out that Wack was working with 6ix9ine, what was your original reaction?
I don't even know how that happened, to be honest with you, but it was just like,
you're like, oh, okay, that's
like, okay, yeah, like it was one of those, like not like
he's
weird. It was more like all right.
When J. Prince called it out months ago, did Wack back down? Nah, he stood tall, said 6ix9ine was his guy and he'd protect him no matter what. That ain't loyalty, that's a chess move. And Wack, he's playing like he knows exactly where all the bodies are buried. Now look at Blueface. This man stays in the headlines, fights, arrests, court drama, viral mess after viral mess. Dude's life been looking like a walking TMZ feed. But peep this, every time something goes down, Wack's already online, talking on Clubhouse before the footage even drops. Before charges even hit, he's already spinning the story like he had tomorrow's court docket in his inbox. He's not reacting, he's pre-spinning, like he got a legal radar or something. Blueface catches heat, and boom, Wack's on the mic, flipping the narrative, redirecting smoke, and keeping it quiet before it gets loud. That ain't regular PR. That's a shield with inside access. And when folks found out Wack was rocking with 6ix9ine, the streets definitely started watching different. Blueface didn't even flinch. No outrage, no pushback, just straight silence. Why? Maybe because he knows exactly who's keeping the wolves from tearing him apart.
Couldn't represent where you come from and what's supporting you. So now I got to cut you.
Yeah, he biting the hand, huh?
So I'm not answering Birdman's call.
When that kind of protection's in play, it ain't about loyalty anymore, it's about survival. That's when things shift from messy to federal. And get this, rumors been floating that Wack had Birdman under wraps too. Back in 2018, Wack and Birdman joined forces to launch Cash Money West through Universal with a $20 million deal on the table. That wasn't just a handshake, that was big league business. They were building up West Coast acts like Savi Third, ready to take over. But it didn't last long. That alliance crashed fast. Wack started wilding on Clubhouse, throwing shots at Birdman's artist BG, right after the man came home from a 14-year bid. Wack straight up called him a rat. No paperwork, no proof, just loud accusations on the internet. And instead of keeping it behind closed doors, Wack claimed Birdman was calling his phone, begging for a private talk. But Wack aired him out publicly, showing zero respect and turning their whole business deal into beef. Even though BG's own cellmate vouched that he never snitched, Wack wouldn't back down. He didn't bring receipts, just kept yelling into the mic. That move burned that bridge forever. But here's where it gets even deeper.
All right, so yeah, after you got that message, after you got the message, you hit up Big U's wife. You said, "Sis, 911. One sec, let me get solo." And you gave him a heads up.
What I tell him?
You said, "One sec, let me get solo. He needs to leave. Bad." In caps, all caps. He needs to leave.
I said so bad, right?
Yeah, full bad.
Suge Knight, from prison, allegedly warned Birdman way back that Wack was shady and not to be trusted. Said the man moved funny and had hidden agendas. And looking at it now, Suge might have been the only one peeping the whole play before it even started. Wack got a pattern. If you ain't cool with him anymore, your name gets dragged. First comes the fallout, then comes the internet slander. That's what went down with Big U. They were tight for years, then boom, Wack starts dropping heavy accusations, RICO rumors, bodies, legal heat. And then it gets real wild. Word is, Wack allegedly texted Big U's wife right before he got arrested, telling her straight up that he needs to leave. That message sounded less like a heads up and more like a Fed-level warning. Yeah, it went all bad. And not long after, Big U got slapped with a federal case. So how come Wack always knows what's about to go down before it hits the news?
If anything, it's alarming him because there's a good chance he probably didn't know that his DNA came back up under that boy's fingernails. So if y'all want to say Wack and 600 did anything, you can probably say we're alarmed.
People ain't crazy for wondering if he's tapped in with the feds, because the timing is just too slick to ignore. Then came the Rayshawn Williams case. This was a high school football player who lost his life under very suspicious circumstances. Out of nowhere, Wack jumps on Clubhouse and drops a bomb. Says Big U's DNA was found under Rayshawn's fingernails. Now hold up, that kind of info ain't floating around the block. That's sealed case type material. The streets don't get that unless it's coming from deep inside, or unless you're the one inside. And just 2 days after Wack made that claim, boom, the feds snatched Big U up. That kind of timing ain't no coincidence. Now imagine being Big U. Someone you once broke bread with suddenly blasts you online, leaking case evidence that ties you to something serious? What kind of dude does that? And then came the twist. Right before Big U turned himself in on that RICO charge, he went live and called out Wack 100 directly, straight up accused him of working with the FBI. Wack always running his mouth on Clubhouse like it's his personal courtroom. And every time he grabs that mic, he's throwing around snitch labels like it's Halloween candy. Gunna BG, even folks with 0 official charges. If they ain't rocking with Wack, he's coming for them. He swore Gunna had a 2-hour interrogation video, even threatened to leak it. But surprise, surprise, he never dropped it. Just more loud talk, no receipts. That's the pattern. He says the same wild stuff about BG and half the people he calls rats. No proof, just straight noise. And that's the move, right? Wack gets loud to throw folks off. Misdirection. When he's yelling rat, nobody's checking his papers. But let's talk wiretaps. Real court docs allegedly had Wack's name popping up multiple times in a 2022 federal wiretap.
I just want to say this to y'all. When they raided my houses and my property, they was asking about Wack. Wack, loose cannon, 600, and this internet stuff.
Members of the Rollin 60s were caught talking about how they wanted to get at him, called him a problem. Said too many folks were trying to lay hands on him. But somehow, Wack never gets touched. And legally, not even a scratch. Which got people asking, why is this dude always in the middle of every storm but never showing up in the paperwork? And dig even deeper. Back in 2005, Wack and his brother got caught in Texas with illegal firearms. Both were convicted felons at the time. And yet somehow, he's still floating clean. That old gun case, it vanished, quietly. No headlines, no trial, no time served. Wack just moved from one federal spot to another, and then, poof, he was out. No charges, no explanation. That's when the whispers started. Did Wack flip way back then? Is that the moment he made his deal with the feds? Because ever since then, Wack been moving different. He popped back up in LA like nothing happened. Suddenly he's in the mix with Death Row and Suge Knight, climbing ranks fast and untouched. Too smooth, too connected. And when you really start connecting the dots, the picture gets loud and clear. Wack ain't just managing artists. He's a fixer. He's the middleman between the streets and the system. He don't just do business. He keeps his people safe from legal heat. The Game, 6ix9ine, Blueface.
Use some time. I don't know, 24 hours, 12 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 1 hour. I don't know. I'm gonna give you some time though, Gunna. For you to go ahead on and confess.
Wack doesn't just help them bounce back. He blocks the fallout before it even lands. Now Jay Prince stepping up saying Wack's out here giving protection to certain rappers using federal links. That don't sound like some wild theory anymore. It's starting to look like a full-blown strategy. Look at his lineup. The Game. Wack managed him for years, kept him from coughing up $7 million, and even claimed control over his royalties. That's not just support, that's power. 6ix9ine. After he snitched and the whole Game wrote him off, only Wack gave him a second chance, rebuilt his contracts, handed him gas money, ran him through Clubhouse, brought him back from career death. Blueface. Dude's got court drama every other week, yet somehow it always ends with Wack spinning the story, shaping the media, and keeping him from real consequences. These ain't just artist relationships, these are investments. These are assets Wack protects and maybe even uses. Gunna, BG, Big U. Once they fall out with him, suddenly they're getting hit with labels, cases, or worse. Wack ain't just in the industry, he's playing chess in the system itself. Everybody who crosses Wack, they get tossed under the bus, fast. But the Game, 6ix9ine, Blueface, they move like they got armor on. If you're useful to Wack, you get saved. If not, he lets the wolves tear you apart and watches it happen. And trust, the internet ain't been quiet. One user said it straight up, Rat100 is a professional storytelling snitch. Another went even harder, saying, you can tell Wack's working with the feds. Dude talks way too much. Lesson of the day? Stay far from folks who talk slick and loud. If Wack really is working with the feds, picking who gets shielded and who gets exposed, then he's not just a manager. He's a power broker running moves behind the industry curtain. And now that Jay Prince cracked the door open, we gotta ask, who's still hiding in Wack's shadows? Because when that name finally drops, it ain't just hip-hop that's gonna shake. The whole tower might collapse. If you thought this was wild, trust, it's only getting deeper. So don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. We'll see you on the next one, where the truth always cuts deep.